Chosen one for too long, your gift has been carried in silence. It has been refined through seasons of waiting, tested through unseen trials, and shaped by patience when no one noticed. Every delay, every challenge, every moment you felt overlooked was not wasted. It was preparing you for this season. The same gift that was once hidden, misunderstood, or undervalued is now moving into its appointed time. Your unseen labor, your faithfulness, and your obedience are aligning with provision, reward, and influence. This is the moment where your gift begins to pay you. Not tomorrow, not someday, but now. Stay with this message, because what you are about to hear is not just inspiration, it is confirmation. It is the activation of what heaven has been preparing you for. Chosen one, this message did not cross your path by coincidence. You were guided here deliberately. There is divine intention behind this moment because heaven knows exactly where to find you. For a long time, you have been carrying something sacred within you, a gift, a calling, a perception, insight, creativity, or spiritual sensitivity that others failed to recognize, misunderstood, or even dismissed. What God planted in you was always different, and because of that, it often made you feel isolated rather than celebrated. There were seasons when your gift felt more like a burden than a blessing. Instead of bringing ease, it brought responsibility. Instead of a reward, it brought pressure. Instead of recognition, it brought silence. You gave, poured, served, created, and showed up, often without seeing any tangible return. But hear this truth clearly. Heaven never wastes what it creates. God does not design gifts to remain unpaid, unsupported, or unseen forever. What He placed inside you was always meant to sustain you, not drain you. This message is confirmation that the hidden season is ending. The phase where your gift only consumed your energy without providing for you is closing. A shift has already begun. Your gift is entering a new function. What once required sacrifice without return is now aligning with provision, recognition, and support. The same ability that once felt heavy is about to become the very source of your stability, positioning, and supply. Remain present in this moment. What you are about to understand will bring peace where there was confusion, clarity where there was delay, and preparation for what is coming next. Before going deeper, take a moment to like, share, and subscribe, not out of routine, but alignment. This is not just another message. It is a divine confirmation for those whose gifts have already shifted into a new phase. Something you carried quietly, something you developed in unseen seasons, has begun to attract reward. Provision, recognition, and support are all responding to your preparation, consistency, and faithfulness. To everyone who has shown support through super thanks, may God return it to you multiplied. Your presence, your consistency, and your faithfulness carry weight in the spirit. Every time you engage and align, you help this message reach those standing on the edge of activation, those whose gifts are about to come alive in new ways. If your spirit already feels the shift, if something within you knows that your gift is about to begin sustaining you, type 77 in the comments now. This number is intentional. It represents readiness. Readiness to stop giving endlessly without return. Readiness to receive from what you are called to do. Readiness to enter a season where your gift supports you instead of exhausting you. Understand this clearly. Not everyone will remain until the end of this message. Only those who are truly aligned will stay. Their spirit recognizes timing before the mind can explain it. Those who remain will receive confirmation, clarity, and deeper understanding of why doors are opening and why demand for what they carry is increasing. This is not random. This is not delayed favor. This is divine timing activating. This message is not meant to be heard once and forgotten. It is a living word, a reminder of transition, a signal that unpaid labor is ending and provision is opening. Return to this message whenever your spirit feels drawn back. Each time you listen, another layer will settle, another fear will loosen, and another confirmation will strengthen you. Your gift was never meant to remain hidden, and it was never meant to go unrewarded. Chosen one, now that your spirit has recognized this moment, it's time to go deeper. Your gift is now stepping into its rightful function, and this is why you must understand this clearly. What you carry was never accidental. It was never a skill you stumbled upon, never something formed only by environment, struggle, or circumstance. God embedded it into you deliberately, long before you had awareness of it, language for it, or confidence in it. Before you could name it, it was already working for you. Before you trusted it, it was already shaping your path. Before you understood its value, heaven had already assigned its purpose. What is now beginning to bring return is the same gift that once required patience, endurance, and faith. That ability within you, whether insight, creativity, leadership, discernment, healing, teaching, strategy, wisdom, vision, or sensitivity to what others cannot perceive, was designed with exact intention. Nothing about it is random. Nothing about it is excessive. It exists because your life assignment requires it to exist. Your future is connected to this gift. Your provision is tied to it. And the people linked to your calling will one day be sustained, guided, protected, or awakened because you answered it. From early on, you sensed that you were different. Not superior, not inferior, but set apart. You looked beneath the surface while others accepted what was visible. You felt emotional and spiritual undercurrents while others remained unaware. You noticed shifts, motives, and outcomes before they took form. You asked questions others avoided. You carried awareness others had not yet developed. That difference was never meant to weigh you down. It was preparation in disguise. God often marks his chosen ones early, long before revealing the full assignment. The gift always arrives first. Understanding comes later. Provision follows alignment. This is why your early life may have felt confusing, isolating, or unusually intense. You were holding something powerful before you knew how to steward it. You were perceiving realities before you had the tools to process them. Your gift was already shaping your experiences, even when you did not yet recognize it as a gift. It influenced who felt drawn to you and who felt threatened by you. It affected where you belonged and where you were resisted. It placed you into roles you did not request but were prepared for. You became the listener when others needed understanding, the problem solver when situations became complex, the protector when vulnerability appeared, the guide when direction was needed, the steady presence others leaned on in moments of crisis. This was not accidental. God does not give gifts without assignment, and he does not assign responsibility without preparation. Everything you were born with is connected to provision, purpose, and impact. Even the parts you once questioned, even the traits that made you feel misunderstood, even the sensitivities that felt overwhelming at times. Nothing was wasted. As your gift moves into its season of return, it is important to understand what came before it. There were times when you tried to silence what God placed within you, seasons when you lowered your light to blend in, moments when you avoided fully stepping into your gift because it made you visible, drew attention, or carried weight you were not yet ready to bear. Yet no matter how much you tried to ignore it, your gift continued to rise. Even when you stepped back, people were still drawn to you. They sought your insight without being able to explain why. They trusted your discernment without fully understanding it. They felt peace, clarity, or conviction in your presence without knowing the source. This happened because your gift has a voice, and when a gift comes from God, it will not remain silent forever. Your gift was never meant for performance or applause. It was not designed to impress, dominate, or compete. It exists to serve, to guide, to heal, to build, to restore, and to awaken. That is why God allowed you to walk through seasons that cultivated humility, patience, and restraint. Power without character destroys, but power refined through experience becomes safe in God's hands. Every delay strengthened you. Every challenge anchored you. Every season of misunderstanding trained you to carry your gift with wisdom instead of ego. What once felt like frustration was actually formation. There was also a time when your gift seemed to cost you more than it gave back. You poured into people who never returned what you gave. You remained consistent while others disappeared. You created, served, advised, encouraged, built, and supported, often without payment, recognition, or loyalty. You invested your time, your energy, your insight, and your heart only to watch others benefit while you remained unseen. At times it felt unfair. At times, it felt exhausting. There were moments when you questioned whether your gift was being wasted, whether your effort mattered, or whether anyone truly valued what you carried. You may have wondered why others received quickly while you labored quietly. But God saw every moment. Nothing was overlooked. Understand this deeply. God allows seasons without compensation not to exploit you, but to refine you. You were never being used. You were being trained. Those seasons were classrooms, not prisons. God was forming something in you that reward alone could never develop. You were learning mastery without applause, faithfulness without affirmation, excellence without external validation. You were learning how to steward your gift even when no one was watching. That level of discipline is not taught in comfort. It is forged in obscurity. You were also being taught discernment, who to pour into, who to protect yourself from, when to give freely, and when to establish boundaries. You learned that access to your gift does not equal entitlement to your life. Even when those lessons were painful, they were necessary. God was preparing you to receive provision without compromise and success without losing yourself. If compensation had come too early, it could have distorted your values. If recognition had arrived before grounding, pride or people-pleasing might have taken root. So God delayed, not as denial, but as protection. Every unpaid moment was sowing. Every overlooked contribution was seed. Heaven recorded every sacrifice, every hour you stayed faithful, every time you gave when you could have withheld. What looked like imbalance in the natural was alignment in the spirit. Now the balance is now being restored. What was once uneven is being corrected. The season where you were overlooked is closing. The time when others accessed what you carry without honor is ending. The cycle of being used without respect is being shut down by divine order. God is moving you from preparation into provision, from hidden effort into visible reward, from sowing endlessly into reaping intentionally. You may already feel the shift. People are beginning to recognize what they once dismissed. Opportunities are appearing that reflect your true worth. Boundaries are forming naturally, without conflict or guilt. This is not a coincidence. It is a correction. This next season will not feel like the last one. Your gift will no longer drain you. It will sustain you. Your work will no longer exhaust you. It will strengthen you. Your labor will no longer go unnoticed or unpaid. It will be honored. You are stepping into a season where alignment produces provision, where obedience brings return, and where your gift finally meets the environment it was prepared for. The chapter of unpaid labor is closing. The chapter of rightful return has begun. Chosen one, receive this truth deeply. Your gift was never meant only to bless others. It was also meant to sustain you. God did not design his chosen ones to live in constant depletion, burnout, or survival mode. He did not place something valuable within you so you could give endlessly while remaining unsupported yourself. The same grace that flows through you is meant to return to you as provision, stability, and peace. For a long time, you may have been conditioned to believe that struggle equals righteousness and that ease somehow disqualifies purpose. You may have been taught, subtly or directly, that receiving makes you less humble, less spiritual, or less devoted. That belief was never from God. God is not glorified by your exhaustion. He is not honored by your lack. He is honored by stewardship. God gives gifts with sustainability in mind. He cares about your longevity, not just your output. He cares about your health, not just your usefulness. He cares about your peace, not just your productivity. A gift that only drains without replenishing eventually becomes a burden. And God does not burden his chosen ones with what he designed to bless them. There is no guilt in receiving from what you give. There is no shame in being supported by what you were called to do. Allowing your gift to sustain you is not exploitation, it is honor. It is acknowledging the value of what God entrusted to you. God does not ask you to prove humility through endless struggle. He teaches stewardship so you can manage his gift with wisdom, balance, and maturity. Think about this. For years, you gave without structure. You served without boundaries. You poured without asking for return. That season shaped your heart. It purified your motives. It stripped ego from your intentions. But it was never meant to last forever. Preparation seasons teach sacrifice. Sustaining seasons teach wisdom. Now God is shifting you into a season where sustainability matters, where structure matters, where rest matters, where your gift is allowed to support your life instead of draining it. This is not a spiritual decline. It is spiritual advancement. When your gift begins to pay you, it will not inflate your ego. It will stabilize your life. It will not create pride. It will create peace. It will not pull you away from purpose. It will free you to serve with clarity instead of anxiety. Provision removes survival pressure, and survival pressure often distorts calling. When you are no longer consumed with merely surviving, you can focus clearly on impact. When you are no longer exhausted, your discernment sharpens. When you are no longer depleted, you give with joy instead of obligation. God is calling you to serve from overflow, not emptiness, from strength, not survival, from peace, not pressure. As this new season unfolds, it will begin by transforming how you see yourself. You will no longer confuse self-denial with holiness. You will stop apologizing for your needs. You will stop overextending yourself just to feel deserving of space, rest, or support. You will understand that honoring your gift also means honoring your time, your energy, your rest, and your boundaries. Allowing your gift to sustain you does not mean you stop serving. It means you serve with greater joy, deeper consistency, and longer endurance. God is not focused only on what you produce. He is deeply invested in how long you can remain healthy, aligned, and effective while producing it. Chosen one, this shift did not happen by chance. It was not luck. It was not timing alone. It was unlocked through obedience, quiet, steady obedience that did not seek recognition or validation. You remained faithful when no one was watching. You continued when progress felt slow and feedback was minimal. You honored God in private long before anything shifted publicly. That obedience mattered more than you realized at the time. There were seasons when it felt as though nothing was moving, yet you showed up anyway. Times when quitting would have been easier. Moments when compromising or lowering your standards could have created faster results. You had opportunities to take shortcuts, chances to bend your values for acceleration, but you chose alignment over speed, integrity over convenience. Every one of those choices built trust in the unseen. While your gift was developing, your character was being refined. God was observing how you handled frustration, how you processed disappointment, how you responded to being overlooked. He watched to see whether bitterness would take root or whether you would remain teachable, whether resentment would form or humility would deepen. You were not just being trained to succeed, you were being trained to remain whole once success arrived. God does not release provisions merely to protect gifts. He releases it to protect people. Many possess talent without the maturity to carry increase. Many have ability but lack the discipline to steward responsibility. Many have vision but not the humility to stay grounded when doors open. You were shaped to be different. You learned patience while waiting without guarantees. You learned discipline while serving without reward. You learned restraint while holding power you could have misused. Those lessons were not delays. They were qualifications. You became someone God could trust with visibility without pride, provision without compromise, and influence without corruption. You learned when to say no, how to remain calm when emotions ran high, how to keep your heart soft without becoming fragile, how to stay aligned even when waiting felt exhausting. That is why the release is happening now. Heaven does not rush increase. It releases it when trust is established. And trust is built through obedience over time, not perfection in a single moment. God watched how you handled obscurity, how you carried unanswered prayers, how you remained faithful in seasons where obedience seemed unrewarded, and He found you steady. This new season is not a reward for talent alone. It is a response to faithfulness, a confirmation that your inner foundation can now support outward expansion. What is coming will not overwhelm you because you were trained to carry it with balance. You will not misuse what God releases. You will not lose yourself in applause. You will not abandon your values for access or comfort. Heaven knows this. That is why doors are opening without force. That is why provision is flowing with less strain. That is why alignment feels clearer now than ever before. Your obedience unlocked this season, and what is unfolding is not pressure, it is proof that heaven trusts you with increase. Chosen one, as your gift begins to pay you, your responsibility will also increase. This is not something to fear, it is something to understand and embrace. Elevation always brings structure. Increase always requires stewardship. God does not release provisions casually, and He does not bless without establishing order. When He increases what flows to you, He also increases what flows through you. This new responsibility will not feel heavy, it will feel meaningful. You will be called to move with greater intention, not urgency, with clarity, not pressure. You will become aware that your time now carries greater value. Your energy has weight. Your decisions affect more than just yourself. This awareness is not a burden. It is evidence of growth. What once flowed casually will now require consistency. What once happened spontaneously will now require structure. As this season unfolds, you will notice that what once felt optional now carries weight and meaning. This is not God limiting you. It is God stabilizing you. He is teaching you how to treat your gift as an assignment, and not a side activity, as something sacred, not something casual. There was a time when flexibility was necessary for growth and exploration, but now reliability becomes essential for sustainability. Structure is no longer restricted, it is protection. Consistency is no longer pressure, it is preservation. With increased provision comes the need for wiser boundaries. You will not be able to say yes to everything anymore. Not because you lack availability, but because you now carry responsibility. You will begin to understand that discernment matters as much as generosity, that rest is as vital as output, that alignment is far more valuable than overextension. This is not pressure, this is elevation. Pressure drains and rushes. Elevation strengthens and grounds. God is not demanding performance from you. He is inviting alignment. He is asking you to meet what He is releasing with maturity. He is calling you to take yourself seriously because heaven already does. How you handle this season will determine what can be entrusted to you next. Not how fast you grow, but how well you manage growth. Not how much you produce, but how faithfully you steward what you produce. Capacity expands through wisdom, not speed. You may feel stretched at times, but stretching is not strain. Stretching is expansion. You are growing into a version of yourself that can carry more without collapsing. Responsibility sharpens focus. Provision removes survival pressure. Together, they create stability. And stability is what allows influence to expand safely. This season will require discipline, but not rigidity. Commitment, but not burnout. Excellence, but not perfectionism. God is shaping you to move with rhythm instead of chaos, with intention instead of impulse, with clarity instead of confusion. Remain grounded in humility. Remain disciplined in practice. Remain aligned in spirit. Your gift is no longer just an expression. It is becoming a vessel of impact, a vessel of influence, a vessel of provision. And God is teaching you how to carry it with wisdom, balance, and longevity. This season is not demanding more than you can give. It is revealing how much you have already become. Chosen one, understand this clearly. This is not the peak. This is not the finish line. This is not where everything settles and stops. This is the beginning. What God is initiating through your gift right now is only the first layer of something far greater, deeper, and more expansive than you can currently see. This season is proof that heaven remembers you. It is evidence that your labor was not in vain. Every quiet sacrifice mattered. Every unseen effort counted. Every time you chose obedience over ease was recorded. Your patience was not wasted. Your waiting was not empty. It was building the capacity needed for what is now unfolding. What God is about to do through your gift will grow. It will expand. It will multiply. What begins as stability will become momentum. What starts as provision will turn into overflow. What feels like confirmation now will soon feel like acceleration. This is God's pattern. Increase is introduced gradually so it can be sustained, not rushed and then lost. Your gift is about to pay you in more ways than you imagine. Yes, financially, but also emotionally, spiritually, and generationally. It will bring peace where anxiety once lived, confidence where doubt lingered, freedom where pressure ruled. You will no longer feel like you are constantly catching up. You will feel grounded, supported, and aligned. Doors you never chased will open. Conversations you never forced will happen. Connections you never had access to will find you. Not because you changed who you are, but because you remained who you are. This season will allow you to build without fear of collapse, to give without fear of lack, to live without the constant tension of survival. You will have space to breathe, to plan, to rest, and to dream again, without guilt and without anxiety. Let this settle deeply in your spirit. You are not late. You are not behind. You are not forgotten. You are aligned. God's timing does not rush, and it does not forget. Everything is unfolding exactly when it must. What looked like a delay from the outside was precision from heaven's perspective. You have arrived at this moment prepared, grounded, and mature enough to carry what is coming. Chosen one, as you step fully into this aligned season, it is time to honor what God has placed within you. Treat your gift with reverence. Handle it with care. Protect it through wise boundaries. Strengthen it through discipline and consistency. Begin preparing for increase, not only around you, but within you, because increase always tests identity before it tests ability. What is coming will require clarity about who you are, not confusion about what you do. Move forward without fear. You are not walking into uncertainty. You are walking into a divine appointment. What God placed inside you is no longer waiting quietly in the background. It is stepping forward into its appointed time. The gift that was once hidden, misunderstood, and underutilized is now being positioned where it belongs. This moment is not the conclusion of your journey. It is the opening chapter of expansion. Everything you endured, every delay, every sacrifice, every unseen season will soon make sense. The weight you carried in silence is now being acknowledged openly. Receive this season with gratitude and clear vision. Honor the process that shaped you. Honor the gift that sustained you before it ever paid you. Remain aligned in spirit, grounded in humility, and steady in obedience. This is not an ending, it is the beginning. What God placed inside you is rising at the right time, in the right way, and for the right purpose. And as it rises, it will sustain you. Walk forward in faith. Provision is aligning with purpose. Reward is meeting preparation. If you feel inspired by this prophetic message, whether you want more chapters in this spiritual journey or a striking visual idea for a video or thumbnail, just say the word. I'm here and I'm ready to help bring your vision to life.